Hi, Anya. Dad's been missing you, so I thought I would read a book to you. I hope you enjoy it. It's called Those Darn Squirrels Fly South. Old man Fuquire lived at the edge of town in a beautiful forest full of birds and squirrels, but he was such a grump. He scolded fireflies for being too bright. He yelled at clouds for being too fluffy. And when the lilacs bloomed, he pinched his nose with a clothespin so he wouldn't have to smell their scent. Even for a grump like Folkwire, it had been a glorious summer. He spent most of his time painting the colorful birds that visited his backyard. Sometimes by accident, he painted a squirrel. Other time, the squirrels painted themselves. Then Folkwire would shake his old man fist and shout, "Those darn squirrels." But now it was fall. The weather had turned crisp, the leaves had changed colors, and soon the birds would fly south for the winter. Folkwire would have to endure the long, cold winter months alone. Well, not exactly alone. The squirrels would be there too. Normally, the squirrels spent winter playing ping pong, building ships in the bottles, and knitting. But this year they had other plans. They were curious about where the birds went for winter vacation, so they decided to follow them. Now, not many people know this, but squirrels have a comprehensive understanding of aerodynamic engineering. They built gyrocopters from pine cones. They built gliders from leaves. They even built a zeppelin from an old shopping bag. When the first frost arrived, the bonga birds took off, followed by the baba birds and the yaba birds. They circled the house, waved goodbye to Folkwire, and headed south. The Fugel birds spent a few minutes scarfing up the last of the farfel seeds. Then he took off too. Folkwire pouted as the sound of flapping wings faded into the distance. He turned to go inside and heard a rustling in the trees, a rustling followed by a whir followed by a buzz. It was the squirrels launching their flying machines one by one. Some of the aircraft flew straighter than others, but eventually they all flew up and away from the harvest colored treetops and into the cool blue autumn air. The old man could hardly believe his eyes. "Great googly moogly," he said. "It's a whole flock of flying squirrels." The squirrels followed the Fugel bird for days. They flew through the night, they flew through the rain, they even flew through turbulence. Finally, just when the squirrels thought they couldn't fly any longer, the Fugel bird swooped down and landed gracefully on a beach. The squirrels landed with a crunch. That doesn't sound good. The beach was so warm and beautiful, and the squirrels were so happy to be done flying, they decided to have a fiesta. They went swimming and ate mangoes with salt and lime. They played the marimba and danced the marigay. The party lasted all night long. Over the next few weeks, the squirrels made themselves right at home. There were many new plants to snack on. There were also many new birds to see. There were cocoa birds, kiki birds, and caramba birds. There were too many birds to count. One of the birds reminded the squirrels of someone they knew. Deep in the snowy woods, a strange noise woke old man Fuquire from his nap. It was coming from the telephone. He was getting a call. When he picked up the receiver, the operator asked if he would accept the charges for a long distance call from the village of Santa Vaca. Then there was a chattering on the line. Those darn squirrels, shouted Folkwire. The old man missed the birds, and even though he would never admit it, he missed the squirrels too. So he decided to join them. Folkwire had a car that he kept under a tarp in the shed by the stream. He bought it in 1957 and had driven it only twice. He loaded up with his easel, paints, and brushes, fixed himself a snack of cottage cheese with pepper, and hit the road. Then he drove 12 miles an hour all the way to Santa Vaca. The nice people behind him had plenty of time to admire his car. Finally, Fuqua arrived in the little village. He spotted the Fugle bird flying overhead and followed him to the beach. When he got out of the car, the squirrels gave him a big hug. Maybe it was the nice weather. Maybe it was the beautiful scenery. Maybe it was the squirrels dancing in his pants. But for the first time in a very long time, the old man laughed. Soon Fuqua set up his easel and began to paint the local birds. Dabu-doo-doo, sang the cocoa bird. Bada-bobo, sang the kiki birds. Fuqua was overjoyed. The birds here were even more amazing than the birds back home, he explained. Hump, muttered the Fugle bird. The sun was very hot. Folkwire sweated, but he kept on painting. Folkwire sweltered, but he kept on painting. When Folkwire slumped forward, face first, onto his painting, the squirrels dragged the old man into the shade and gave him some water. He was as red as a bonga bird. He decided it was time to go home. The squirrels decided to go with him. They had a wonderful vacation. But after all, it was almost time for their annual snow fort building competition. They had one last snack of mango. Then Fuqua waved goodbye to the birds, and they all piled into the car. The trip back home was much quicker for all of them. The squirrels drove most of the way. Those darn squirrels. The end. I hope you liked the story, Anya. And remember, Dad misses you and loves you.